Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I print Analeigh printable inserts, and I have a tray loading printer, which means that my pages load from the bottom and come up through the top. So if you have a top loading printer where your sheets just slide down through the front and print, you're going to be doing things a little bit differently, but I hope that this video shows you a little bit of guidance if you're looking for that as far as printing inserts go. So as far as undated inserts go, they're fairly easy to print. You just put the paper that you want in. I use 28-pound paper, and you're going to select your odd pages. So you want to print all your odd pages. So once you print your odd pages, you're going to stack your paper up and you're going to set it back in the bottom tray just the way that it is. If you're loading from the top, you're going to want to flip your pages over, but mine, I want my images on the top. I want my images showing up when I put them in the bottom loading tray. So now I'm going to print the even side, and once the even side is printed, these inserts will be finished because they aren't dated and they're very easy to cut, which I'm also going to be showing you guys how I cut my inserts in this video. So if you have a top loading printer, you want to flip them. If you have a bottom loading printer, you don't want to flip them, but you always want to print your odd numbers first and then your even numbers second. So each insert you're going to have to send through your printer twice if you do it the way that I'm doing it, which I found to be very, very easy. The first set of inserts that I printed were Happy Mail Tracker inserts. The second set of inserts that I'm printing is just the list insert from Analeigh Printables. And I have a coupon code for her shop if you're interested in that. I'll leave it in the box down below so you can get it if you'd like. So this is the lists, and I'm just planning on using these for any kind of list, not like grocery store lists, more like ongoing to-do lists or, baby names or house projects or something like that. So as far as dated inserts go, you're going to put your paper in, print all your odd pages first. So you're going to put your paper in, print all your odd pages first, and then you're going to stack your paper, and one by one you have to lay it out. So you're going to take your top pages and reshuffle them. So you're going to put your top pages on the bottom, your bottom pages are going to be on top now. Then you're going to slide them back into your printer and you're going to print the odd side. Once that's finished, you're going to restack them again. So again, you're taking the top sheet and putting it on the bottom, top sheet putting it on the bottom, and so on. And this will make sure that your dates are in order as they should be. Now I'm printing my meal planner inserts, and that's the same thing as the undated ones. You just print your odd first, and then you put in the bottom, and you print your even second. And that'll keep your title page on top and everything in order. But if you don't do your dated inserts the way that I'm doing them, your dates will end up all jumbled up if you don't restack them. So now I'm cutting my inserts down. My paper cutter can only cut 3 to 4 pages at a time without making the edges like frayed. So I just cut 3 or 4 pages at a time. Analeigh Printables has the little lines that you can cut on. You always are going to want to make sure that you measure your inserts so that you know exactly how big to cut them, just so that all your pages are the same. You don't have like a few funky out of whack pages because you didn't cut exactly where you should. So I'm using a bone fold. I cut mine in half. I use my bone fold to make sure that my crease is tight, and then I'm using a 6-inch metal ruler to line up against the edge of my inserts, and I'm using this rotary cutter to cut off the extra pages. That makes your insert like really, really crisp. Your pages aren't uneven and they're all the same length, and it just works out wonderfully. So now I'm doing the lists page, and it's the same thing, just 2 pages at a time. 2 pages. I'm sorry, you can do 3 or 4. If you have a bigger paper cutter, girl, you go for it. I don't have a bigger paper cutter, and I don't have the guts to put a ton of pieces of paper in mine at one time, so 3 or 4 sheets works great for me. So once I get them all cut down, I fold them in half. I use my bone folder just to get the pages creased. Just using a bone folder helps your pages crease better than just using your thumb yourself. You can also use like a credit card or that kind of thing. I'm going to use my ruler and my rotary cutter to keep my pages flat. So you can do this for all of your inserts as long as they don't have any flip out pages. One of my sets of inserts has a flip out page, which I can't really lie, I struggled quite a bit to get it cut down perfectly, and it's honestly still not perfect, but it'll definitely do the job. So I'm just cutting off the rest of my Happy Planner or my Happy Mail insert, and these are the dated ones. First, I'm pulling out all of the sheets that do not have a flap on them. You can tell because they're printed differently, and I'm going to cut those all out, stack them in 3 to 4 sheets per stack, cut them down, and then I go through and cut the ones that have the flap on them. But you want to make sure that your flap is on the same side for every sheet, otherwise you'll cut them down and then you'll be missing half of a page because you didn't line them up correctly to cut them. So this is my second stack. This is the one with the fold out on it. And so I stacked them all up and I cut them all down. And so now I'm doing my bone fold and folding my pages the way that they should. This part is kind of tricky. I started paying attention to the dates first, and I really didn't need to do that. I should have just started folding my pages and then reorganized by date, because I ended up having to do it that way anyway. But so I've got my stack of papers in, and I'm just trying to figure out exactly where I need to fold them. I'm using my green mat to line up my pages. I'll have that map linked below somewhere you can buy it. They're not very expensive, and they're super nice to have, especially if you're using a rotary cutter, because you can cut through literally anything with a rotary cutter. I cut up my IKEA table like the week that I bought it before I was like, why am I not using a cutting mat? This is really silly. So I bought one. And actually I didn't buy one. This was left over from when I went to art school. So I just went ahead and pulled it out and used it. So I'm just folding my pages the way that I think that they should go, and I insert them where they go and fold the flaps in where they need to be folded in. So this is a little tricky because you can't just put your metal piece up there and cut the edges off, because you'll cut your flaps off. So you need to make sure that your flaps are folded slightly further in, so that there's no way for you to cut them off. If you fold your flaps slightly further in, just make sure that your ruler is at the same length as your notebook was before you put your flapped pages in. So once you cut it down first, so you're going to print off your pages, and then you're going to pull out all the ones that have the flap on them. You're going to fold them and cut them down. Cut them down first and then fold them, then cut the excess off. Then you're going to insert each individual fold out page with the folded slightly further in, that way you don't accidentally cut it off using your rotary cutter. So I just used a few extra pieces of paper to make sure that I wasn't cutting through to the next layer of paper, because I didn't want to cut off my folds. So I'm just going through and cutting down the pages that seem like they're sticking out a little too far. And see, that one's stuck out a little too far, so I folded in a little further. So overall, my dated inserts with the flaps are not perfect, but I have to say, like, inserts that either don't have a fold out or that aren't dated are like so easy to cut down and make them look exactly like you had just bought them from the store. Now, one quick other thing is some people staple their inserts together or hand thread them together. I don't do any of that. I probably will end up stapling them at some point, but believe it or not, I don't have a long arm stapler, so I can't staple the center of my notebooks, but I hope to be able to do that soon. So that was all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this was helpful. I will see you all in my next video. Bye, everyone.